Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for choosing our show today. In case you are here for the first time, please take a second or two and subscribe to our channel. Please like and share this video. Ladies and gentlemen, in the wake of a very obvious growing rebellion from Kenyans and an open dwindling popularity, President William Samoei Ruto is burning the midnight oil to come out with measures to keep him in office and to try and retain and defend his seat in 2027. One such measures is that William Ruto has charged a team that is now defaming the opposition, a team that is now, trying to talk ill of Rigathi. This team is trying to woo the religious support. They are also trying to woo back the support of youths. In a way, he's just trying to ensure that he uses his very method of woodwinking Kenyans. Now today, William Ruto charged the ICT CS, William Kabogo. And William Kabogo chose to be on Citizen Radio. And the reason for Citizen Radio is targeting maybe people who are living in the shags or people who don't have televisions, but they can listen to Citizen wale wa ushago. And for the period of that interview, he was defaming or trying to discredit Rigathi Gachagua. This is how things happened.
Sote tunakwetu.
Wewe kuna mahali umetoka unasema nyumbani. Mimi ni waziri wa nchi ya Kenya, lakini niko na nyumbani. Mimi natoka hapa Ruto. So ukianza kusema watu ya mlima tujihadhari, tunawekwa kutengwa kwa serikali, tunafanywa hii. Ruto is cosmopolitan, my dear. 50% of the residents of Ruto are non-Kikuyus. Sasa wao wanataka kutenganisha Wakikuyu na watu wengine. Kwa nini? Why? Kwa nini usituambie makosa ya hii serikali kwa jumla? Usiseme ni kabila yako. Kwani sasa ndio umejua wewe ni kabila gani? Me have issues with Rigathi Gachagua. Serious issues.
Raise them.
Number one,
yes.
He was in government for 2.5 years. Or for 2 years. Ndio?
Naam.
Siku anakuwa impeached. Mimi nilikuwa namba 1 wa kuuliza maswali. Why is he being impeached? I couldn't get an answer from anyone. Nikaenda Kameme. Because alikuwa shanza kusema ni kuonewa. Ni kuonewa na ni ukabila. I sent a message clear through Kameme. Nikasema bana, wewe unafurushwa, wanaelekea bunge Alhamis au sijui ilikuwa Tuesday. Jumanne. Na hiyo ilikuwa ni Sunday ama Jumatatu asubuhi. Tueleze kinagaubaga. Kwa nini unafurushwa? Kama ni kuonewa unaonewa, mimi niko na uwezo kama mwanasiasa ama kiongozi kufunga barabara ya Thika na tuseme tutaandamana kwa sababu wewe unafurushwa kwa njia ambayo sio ya haki. Hakupotezea. Mandi asubuhi nikaitwa huko. Nikaenda nikasema bana, wewe tulikupatia ujumbe jana. Tunataka utueleze kinagaubaga kwa nini unafukuzwa.
Mbona hukuongea naye moja kwa moja?
Sasa
urafiki mpigie simu.
Kama mtu achukue simu utafanya nini?
Ulijaribu kumtafuta kwa njia ya simu?
Nilijaribu zile simu nilikuwa najua. Ili nijue vizuri kama kiongozi wa eneo hii, mimi nilikuwa gavana wa jimbo la Kiambu. Na Kiambu inaanza hapa Githurai. Ili anieleze sikupata. Nikiangalia mashtaka 11 ambazo wameshtakiwa nazo, zote ni za kibinafsi. Angetokezea atueleze pesa yetu ya majani chai imechukuliwa, imepelekwa mahali fulani. Pesa yetu ya kahawa imepelekwa kwa miwa. Pesa zetu za barabara ambazo ni za Kenya zilichukuliwa zikapelekwa mahali fulani.
Ungesaidia
ningesaidia mara moja, ningeleta shida haijawahi onekana. Lakini hakukuwa.
Kwa hiyo unasema kwamba Waziri Kabogo ni kwamba ni sawa kwa rais kumtimua Rigathi?
Najiuliza swali.
Naam. Ilikuwa sawa?
Imefika bunge la Seneti akatoroka. Pili, very important, kwa miaka miwili hajatueleza ni nini aliwafanyia hao watu wa mlima. Saa hii anapigania watu wa mlima akiwa nje, akiwa ndani aliwapigania. Atueleze tu one thing.
Now, I'm really surprised that Kabogo is a CS, and the last time I checked, the CSs are supposed to sit down and work for Kenyans, not engaging in politics. And I don't think that when Kabogo was being interviewed and he was being vetted by parliament, I don't think he signed a contract to come and help William Ruto campaign. Let Kabogo work so that as William Ruto will be campaigning for the second, to get a second chance, people will be looking at what has happened in the ICT docket and will say, okay, he's really worked because he's there to help William Ruto achieve and implement the bottom-up economic agenda. And I'm also surprised that Kabogo is insinuating that Rigathi Gachagua is now trying to fight for Mount Kenya when he was outside, yet he did nothing when he was inside. I mean, this cannot be further from the truth, because we all know that one of the reasons why Rigathi Gachagua was removed from office is because they accused him of being a villager, a person who was only talking and fighting for his people of Mount Kenya. And if Kabogo is pretending that he has forgotten that Rigathi was fighting for the people of Mount Kenya, internet doesn't lie. Here's one of the clips where the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua was saying that he had managed to contain the consumption of illicit brew in Mount Kenya until he was removed from power. Then there was a deliberate effort to bring back the second generation liquor that was really responsible for many deaths and finishing youths in that area.
Hiyo pombe ilifunguliwa hizo companies mpaka wa leo. Haiuzwi Rift Valley, haiuzwi anywhere else. Pombe ile yote sumu inaletwa katika mlima. Jana pale Bahati hapa Nakuru kumekufa watu 3. Simuliona kwa TV jana? Tangu wanitoe kwa kiti, ile pombe yote mbaya ya kuua watu, rais aliagiza iletwe hapa kwa mlima. Hiyo imalize vijana wetu.
Ruto must understand, Ruto and his people, that we are in an era where social media is available at the fingertips. You don't just lie. During the kind of era, you could lie because it will be very difficult even to get evidence to remind you of what you had said or what you had denied. This generation is a different generation. William Ruto cannot hoodwink them. Now, that is on the side of politics, because he has charged politicians, people like Kimani Chungwa. Now, I want you to listen to this religious leader, one of the clergy, who led a campaign for William Samoei Ruto, and is telling William Ruto that people are bitter, and is also trying to woo support base for William Samoei Ruto. And I want you to listen to him.
Hebu niulize tu wale wako hapa, ni kina nani wamesaidiwa na SHA? Mkono juu. Angalia. So SHA inafanya kazi. Lakini kuna bado watu wana uongo ya kwamba SHA haifanyi nini? Haifanyi kazi. Your Excellency, kuna coalition of bitterness, bitter people. Watu wakiwa bitter wanatengeneza coalition, at the coalition of bitter people. Ikiwa sasa wewe uko impeach, unatengeneza coalition nyingine ya bitter people, and then mnaungana pamoja na bitter people.
So we have reached a level where William Ruto is now openly campaigning. He has charged people to try and talk to Kenyans, to persuade and convince Kenyans that indeed Ruto is the best president. All of us are in this country, and we can easily see when things are going on, what is happening, whether the economy is growing. You don't need to use some very big economic terms to convince us. The clergy does not need to remind us. We see it for ourselves. If it is SHA, people go to the hospitals every day and they know whether SHA is working. Like now we know that people are being killed, but the clergy is not talking about it. And so you can see the consistency. He's also talking about the opposition, people like the former Attorney General Jebu Muturi, people who are in power, people like Mithika Linturi. He's saying that once some people have been removed from office, they become bitter. But you know, as Kenyans, we don't care. As long as someone was in office and was supporting William Ruto, and right now he's in office but he's telling us the truth, revealing secrets, revealing to us some corrupt deals within the government, we are happy, because as Kenyans, that is what will help us. Looking at the past doesn't help us, because people have been removed from office have got the choice of remaining quiet. So if they decide to come out, like Mithika Linturi was now telling us about fake fertilizer, Ndindi Nyoro today is telling us about the deal when the cost of fuel was increased. We must know what is happening within the country. Raila Amolo Odinga used to hold these meetings, you know, releasing bombshells, but now he's in government. So what do? The people who are in government, they have almost swapped roles. They have swapped roles, and so they are giving us what we are supposed to hear. But I want to say this: it is not time to campaign. Everyone and anyone who was given a chance to work for Kenyans, any leader in office who came to us and campaigned, some of them were even, you know, doing what we call door-to-door campaign. Walikuwa wanakuja mpaka kwa nyumba zetu usiku. Just give me a chance, I'll work for you. You don't need to start campaigning now. No. You don't need to advertise what you are doing. Chema chajiuza, kibaya chajitembeza, if I got that right. That if you're doing a good job, it is obviously seen and felt by people whom we are serving. They don't need to campaign. Let them wait for 2027 and we will see their scorecard. They don't need to start telling us what William Ruto has done. If, for example, William Ruto has maybe built some roads, the people who are in that area know very well that this has been built, and they will know. If things are going on well, you don't need to advertise it. And people like this clergy here should be told off. You don't have to use the church again. No wonder William Ruto is now saying he's building a church in State House. He wants to use this to wipe emotions. Why? Because he understands very well that religion is very emotive. When you start criticizing building of a church, wengine wanakuona kama mwenye dhambi, wanakuambia wewe hautaki maneno ya Mungu. Unaona? And William Ruto understands that too well. Now, it didn't end there. He also picked on some youths to lead his campaign to try and persuade youths. And you know, I felt very sad that these people, the people who are leading the call for youths to come back to Ruto, are saying that youths are prodigal sons. They should come to Ruto to forgive them. Between the youths and Ruto, who is supposed to forgive the other? Can't listen to him.
Ningependa kuongea hivi niwaambiaje, nimekuja hapa kwenyu nikiwa na moyo mzito sana, lakini niko na matumaini kwa sababu nimekuwa nikifuata hizi mahariba zenye zinaendelea huku mtaani, za fujo na vurugu, maandamano, na tumeona yani hakuna mwelekeo yenye tuko nayo. Tunafaa kukuwa na tumaini kwa sababu sisi ndio taifa ya kesho. Sisi ndio nguvu ya hii taifa, na tunafaa kutumia hiyo nguvu kujenga dreams zetu, si ati kwenda kuvuruga, ati tunaenda kuchoma, tunaenda kuwashanare huko kwa barabara tukitupanga madimanga, kwa sababu pale umeenda umechoma hiyo biashara ni ya mkoro wako, ni ya mzae wako, ni ya sistako, ni ya babako. Sasa tukichoma tunajisaidia na nini? Tunaelekea wapi kweli? Yenyewe tumekosa mwelekeo mayouth. Lakini hata kama venye Bible inasema prodigal son, tunaweza rudi nyumbani tukuje kwa baba yetu Samuel Ruto, na hata tukubali kwa sababu sisi tuko willing, sisi ndio viongozi wa kesho.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my very considered opinion, it is William Samuel Ruto who is supposed to apologize to youths, not the other way around. Why? It is William Ruto who came and campaigned, you know, that he was going to turn around the economy of this country, that he was going to create create jobs for our youths. Today he's saying Hii mambo ya kukosa kazi ilikuwa hata wakati wa the previous president. You know, yet he said he was different from the other leaders. It is William Ruto who is now killing. Under his administration, the police is killing people. In the last 1 month alone, 60 people died within a short period. He's now charging them with terrorism, a very serious offense. So it is William Ruto who is supposed to apologize, not someone telling us that, you know, we are now prodigal sons. We need to go back to William Ruto. William Ruto is the prodigal son. He needs to come to us so that we see whether we can forgive him. But people have decided that we're not going to talk to a government that is not giving us that chance. I remember when Sifuna is saying, you tell us to wait for you in 2027, yet you don't allow us to walk that path to 2027. Your life is curtailed, your journey is curtailed. I told you that William Ruto is burning the midnight oil to craft measures so that he can stay in office and recapture power in 2027. It's not going to be very easy. He's lost touch. Kenyans have rebelled. The people who supported him are no longer there. Do you think William Ruto can sustain the narrative, the hustler narrative? I don't think. Do you think William Ruto can be accepted as the chief hustler today? He's no longer a hustler. In fact, mtoto wa Ruto akisimama leo, haizi sema yeye ni hustler kwa sababu babake ashakuwa president. That narrative has really fallen flat. The Mama Mbogas, can you still talk to Mama Mbogas and say that hii serikali yako ni ya Mama Mboga na mahasla na watu wa boda boda? It cannot. In the cabinet hakuna mtu wa boda boda, hakuna mtu yeyote hustler. So William Ruto really feels the pain of rebellion. But one thing he does not do is that he does not sit down to look at the cries of the people, their concerns, with a fine-tooth comb to understand what they want. Instead, he wants to go for makeshift solutions. Ya kwamba uchukue Raila, maandamano ikufe, uende kwa Uhuru akupatie watu wafanye kazi there. No, it doesn't work that way. That is short-lived. Kenyans elected him. He says so. He needs to listen to them. Let him not do things unilaterally. And let him listen to our youths. The reason why our youths go to the street every day is that they feel neglected. Wanadharauliwa. No one listens to them. And even when you listen to them, it is a formality. Listening that we are talking about here is implementing what they want. If anything, they're only telling you, the university funding model is not working. When you raise taxes and you raise, levies on fuel, it affects the whole market. Investors are running away. Companies are closing. We have graduates every day, but they don't have anywhere to go. The Kenyan youth are very hardworking, but when they open businesses, the opportunity, the business environment is not conducive enough. When you chase away investors directly or indirectly, then you even reduce the capacity of those people who can create jobs, because the public sector or the government can only employ but just a very minimal percentage. The private sector employs quite many people, but we don't create that environment. But when the youths say this, they are termed as terrorists. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Kabogo has led this team that is decampaigning the opposition and try to campaign for William Ruto. But this has faced a backlash because Kenyans know the truth. We don't need the politicians to remind us of what we're supposed to do. Of course, this is the reason why people oppose Raila's call for discussion, intergenerational discussion. I don't know what you think, but these people will not persuade Kenyans to vote. Kenyans will look at William Ruto over the 5 years, what he has done, and his scorecard will speak for himself. That is my take.